We're in the Czech Republic for the world premiere of Skoda's new electric vehicle that sits below the Enyaq. This is the Elroq. And as you can see, it debuts a whole new design language. In fact, what I particularly like is this black panel up here that Skoda calls the tech deck. Behind this panel here, which is basically a solid gloss panel, will sit all of the tech bits that you need for cars today, like the ADAS radars, the cameras, and things like that. So you won't have those ugly bits that you have on other cars, in the middle of the grille. The tech deck will have it all, and on this car, it's got a really cool LED decorative panel here, simulating a small grille. Looks really cool, and the head designer all of us says that they could do different things with this as well on different cars. Now there are two details here you must see, because they're probably going to come on the Enyaq that's going to be unveiled very soon in India, and that's the split headlamps that you can see over here. And if you go to the bonnet here, you'll notice there is no Skoda logo, it's the new Skoda lettering. So we'll probably see both these, if not at least the split headlights on the Enyaq. Now at the side you can really see the length of the car. It's 4.4 meters and looks, well, just the right size actually. It's not too big, not too small. I really like it. What do you think? Let us know, of course, in the comments. Now over at the rear, unlike the front, things are quite familiar to the other Skoda cars. And if you look here at the taillights, for example, very reminiscent of the Kodiaq. So I would have liked some things a little more different like the front, but otherwise there's no complaint. It's just that they're familiar. The badge here, 85, that indicates the battery capacity, 85 kilowatt hour. There are three battery capacities, 50, 60 and an 85 kilowatt hour. This version has a max range, a claimed range of 560 kilometers. And this version, the 85 kilowatt hour battery, also comes with a dual motor or an all-wheel drive setup. At the rear, let's take a look at the boot. It's a 470-litre boot and extends up to 1580 when you fold down the 60-40 split. It's also very practical because it's flat, easy to load in. It's got these side trays, bottle holders, flip-down hooks, all the simply clever bits. And the most clever one is this little storage net here for the charging cable. Honestly, a lot of electric cars have the charging cable down below the floor, and sometimes it's a mess trying to coil it and put it all in. This one seems quite easy to slot in there. Now inside here, there's a lot new. Right in front of me, there's a really tiny IP instrument panel, but there's a very large touchscreen here, 13 inches in fact, and it's got the touch bar down here for volume control that we've seen before on a few other cars from, well, the group actually, Volkswagen Group. Over here you can see the center tunnel, the drive selector knob, and below that is a large storage area. That's really thanks to the flat floor. The steering wheel. Now if you look at the steering wheel, it is a familiar design. There's some new bits and some carryover bits, and I really like it. Over here, you've got the familiar scroll knobs, but the center boss is new, and as you can see here too, like the front, the Skoda lettering, there's no longer the Skoda logo. In fact, the only place you'd probably find the Skoda logo on the car is on the hubcaps. Okay, now if you come on in and you'll see here at the rear, space is quite adequate. In fact, the seat is moved a little bit further than I'd normally sit, but there is still ample leg room. You sit with a very slight knees up position. In fact, it's not too bad, and what Skoda have done is nicely angle the seat base upward, so you really don't feel a lack of under-thigh support. There's another cool bit which will probably not feature if this car makes it to India, and that's this little center console down on the floor. I really like it. It's nice and handy. This being a flat floor, you can use that, but if you have a center passenger, it would make things a little more difficult, of course. Now, in terms of room, also headroom, there's a lot of headroom. In fact, well over 5-finger space above me. So, space at the rear, no complaints. So, that's the Skoda Elroq. It sits below the Enyaq. Like I said, will it come to India? For now, Skoda says there's nothing confirmed, but it is under active consideration. And so, if it does come, we should see it after the Enyaq, though, which is due by the mid of next year.